A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure. But instead, adventure found me.
Hi guys, it's C&NOnline and we're here today for another gaming review. Today we're going to be looking at Square Enix's next generation remaster of Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. This review was carried out with the PS4 version of the game. Tomb Raider takes place as Lara sets out on her first expedition in search for the kingdom of Yamatai. Against one of her shipmates' advice, the ship takes course through the Dragon's Triangle, though as it does, the ship gets caught in a wild storm, leaving the survivors shipwrecked. Lara sets off to find the rest of the survivors, whilst also trying to work out the mystery on the island she's landed upon. Will she survive and live up to the Croft name?
The game plays out in a much more cinematic way to the previous games in the series, and revamps Tomb Raider brilliantly for the current generation. The game plays out in third person, with you learning new skills to traverse the environment as you progress. Whilst Tomb Raider may feel very linear and as if it has a set path to follow, you are allowed to free roam and wander around the map at your own will. This allows you to pick up collectibles or just look at the environment the game has to offer. The controls are easy to pick up. You control Lara with the left analog stick and fire her weapons with the L2 and R2 buttons. Other tasks such as lighting torches can be performed by swiping the touchscreen up and down, or by holding square near items that will allow you to light fire.
The game is surprisingly easy to pick up and play, and after the first hour you'll feel like a pro at taking down enemies. Though at every corner of the game it always finds a way to make you feel weak again, and have to rethink your strategies. As mentioned, the game is heavily story driven, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. The acting from all the characters is brilliantly done, which helps to express how each of the characters are feeling in the situation they're placed in. Lara throughout the story obtains items to help her on her journey. As you progress through the game, these get upgraded for you, though to save spoilers we will not mention what items she gets, other than the pickaxe. Lara gets this fairly early on in the game, with its only ability being able to open locked doors and boxes, though as you progress through the game you get it upgraded to allow you to climb up craggy rocks and reach new locations in the story. The upgrading throughout the story is brilliantly done as it allows you to explore the same area, though with a different item to reach new heights and new locations.
Throughout the game you have the chance to upgrade different aspects of Lara. Each weapon firstly has several upgrades that improve it, from increasing the amount of damage they deal to decreasing the amount of time it takes to reload. One great example of this is the pickaxe. Early on it can't be used as a weapon, though if you get enough salvage and purchase the right upgrade you can use it as a melee weapon. This is an extremely useful upgrade which helps Lara turn the tides in combat. To get upgrades for weapons you need to have salvage. You will find salvage around the environments as you play the game. When you have enough salvage you spend it on the upgrades you want, and at certain points you will unlock further upgrades from salvage that you collect around the island.
On top of weapon upgrades, Lara also gets skill points which can be used to improve her skills. These skills range from dodging an enemy and attacking all the way to improving your hunting skills. They become extremely useful in aiding you throughout the story, as they allow you to gain further salvage or even just become more stealthy in your environment.
Talking of hunting, Lara has the ability to hunt animals in the game. Hunting animals allows you to gain experience for leveling up and also gives you salvage. There are a variety of animals you are able to hunt, from deers to rats, and each gives you a range of experience depending on how hard it is to kill.
The game's environments are heavily dynamic, with areas destructing as you climb, and even at times you have to run away from environmental hazards. They add a sense of immersion into the game world, and help you feel as if the world isn't a static object which you're moving around in. Next, the multiplayer mode. Multiplayer is a ton of fun and allows you to face off survivors v islanders. Sadly, one complaint straight up is that it's hard to find matches, though the minute you do, you'll have a ton of fun.
Within multiplayer mode you have several different loadouts you are able to choose from and even customise to create your own. As with most multiplayer games, to unlock better weapons and skills for your loadouts you have to level up and gain experience. To start with you are given a bow, a rifle and a shotgun. These are used in your loadout, which is a really good start. As a survivor you can choose from your favourite characters from the story mode, such as Lara herself. On the Islander team you will recognise a few enemies from the story, even though these are probably not as well known, but you will know some of them by name.
One great addition, which was added to the new version of the game, was the ability to use the Hitman Absolution weapons as a choice within the loadouts menu. This is great to see appear as it is an option on the game by default. One major downside is that some of the maps feel imbalanced, meaning some teams seem to get an advantage by staying near their base while the other team cannot get to. This does make the game less enjoyable, though the majority of the time you will have a pleasurable experience and you will get stuck in it for longer than just one match.
Tomb Raider's soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks we've heard in a game in a while, perfectly fitting the atmosphere in the game and helping to create brilliant moments. The main theme itself has several different versions, including a heroic action, and sad theme. Each of these are the same theme, though altered to create a different atmosphere within the game. Tomb Raider's soundtrack really helps to create a brilliant experience which we will love every moment of.
So what differences does Tomb Raider Definitive Edition have over its previous launch last year on a PS3 and Xbox 360? The first main noticeable difference is its graphics. Tomb Raider has been reworked for the next generation and it really shows from the minute you start the game. The textures are refined, close-ups of the characters don't cause their clothes to look blurry, and overall it just looks beautiful. Graphically, Tomb Raider helps to show off what differences there truly are between the PS3 and 360 to the PS4 and Xbox One.
The next difference is that the game contains downloadable content, such as a Hitman Absolution weapons for the multiplayer use only, several in-game costumes for Lara to wear on her journey, and the comic that was released as a prequel to the game. It is nice to have all the downloadable content on the disc, and the comic is definitely worth a read. The final difference is the rework in the controller to suit the next generation. As mentioned earlier, we are playing the PS4 copy of the game. For these reasons, voice control will probably be the big noticeable difference between the games themselves. With either the PlayStation 4 headset or the PlayStation camera, you are able to pause the game, resume the game, and change from any of the weapons by their name. This was a nifty little feature which made changing weapons in the depth of combat a very pleasurable and swift experience. Whilst voice control is a mixed thing with people, they worked very well and picked up the commands and performed the actions as you finished talking.
Next, the touchpad comes into play. Not many games seem to be utilising the touchpad with the PS4 controller, other than pulling up the map. Though don't worry, Tomb Raider can still pull up the map, but it has a bit more to it. Firstly, swiping up on the touchpad causes Lara to light a torch, while swiping it down causes her to blow it out. Whilst this does seem like a little gimmick at first, it does become extremely useful and much easier than pulling out the right equipment when you need it. The touchpad is also used to move the collectibles around and navigate the menus, which made the whole experience a little easier and once again quicker to use. The built-in speakers which are on the PS4 controllers are used also heavily within the game, though they're used really well. When Lara is talking over the radio, the person she's communicating with replies back via the PS4 controller, which helps add to the whole experience a little more. Finally, you might remember that light which was on the back of the PS4 controller. Well, Tomb Raider does actually make good use of that, so play this game in a darkened room if you want to experience it to its fullest. In short, the light matches what's going on in the game. If Lara has a torch, the controller will flow from a red to yellow colour to give off the colour of fire. On the other hand, when you fire weapons, the light flashes lighter, as if the weapon was being fired, and when you play this in a dark room, it helps to add to the whole experience massively.
Well, let's take a look at the positives and negatives then. Positives: excellent soundtrack, great character relationship, gripping and engaging gameplay and story, and brilliant remaster for the next generation consoles. And then the negatives: some parts of the story are gripping as Lara experiences some for the first time. Though the second time she carries out that action, she does it without even a little bit of care, which ruins the atmosphere of the game.
Overall, Tomb Raider is a brilliant experience that you will not want to miss out on. It shows us the story of Lara Croft we've all known for several years on her first expedition, and she becomes the Croft we all know her to be. As you journey through the game, you experience her hardships and her victories, deepening her character like we've never seen before. Whilst at times the story feels like it skips over some areas very quickly, the game makes up for this in every other aspect.
Its brilliant soundtrack, beautiful environments and enjoyable gameplay will keep you hooked for the whole game, and it will be hard to put down the controller. The new controls which the PlayStation 4 controller allows helps for a more pleasant and swift experience. If you played the game last year on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, the game is worth at least having a playthrough to see the differences. Though if you thought you wouldn't want to replay the game after you finished it the first time round, there probably wouldn't be a reason to get the definitive edition.
Though, if you did want to play it again, this is definitely worth the money, with all the extra downloadable content on the disc and a remastered game for the next generation consoles. Of course, if you haven't played Tomb Raider yet, you have to pick up this game. Tomb Raider is a great step forward for the Tomb Raider series and tells a great story which you'll not want to stop playing even after it's finished. For these reasons, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition gets a C&N score of 5 out of 5.
Thanks for watching guys, feel free to leave comments down below and make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. This is C&NOnline signing off.
When life flashes before us, we find something that keeps us going. Something that pushes us.